Hey, what is up, guys? This is Washable Potterpie here, coming at you with a balanced patch review. Uh, just dropped. It's gonna be for the units being adjusted, scheduled for 10/8. So October 8th is when we're gonna see these changes. Pretty excited. We see some names on here that we've been kind of waiting for. So units like Ken and Ravi and Silverblade Araminthus, I think that's a big one to look into. So I've already skimmed through these notes, and I kind of just wanted to talk about that with you today. Let's start off with Silverblade Araminthus. So started off her passive, her skill 2 Flame Release is going to attack all enemies and now has a chance to burn while also increasing combat readiness by 25% instead of 20%. Essentially giving her skill 2 that extra burn that you're missing from the skill 3 back when she was nerfed. So they took away one of the bird chances, and now you get that burn back if you proc the skill 3. It's only a 60% chance, but it's a nice change. But more importantly, you get 5 extra combat readiness every time it procs. And we all know combat readiness manipulation in RTA is huge. Any PvP aspect, being able to take more turns is great, and especially on a control unit, like a control mage that can hold items like Abyssal Crown, Seer, or Ren. This is a really, really nice change. And her skill 3, so her skill 3 meter fall now also lands unhealable. So there's a unhealable, burn, stun. That is really crazy in my opinion. You also gain 1 more soul on the skill 3. Unhealable is a very underrated, I think overlooked debuff in terms of control, but sometimes just landing that unhealable can win you the game. You're no longer getting things like Rowana passive, like you're no longer being able to heal from Touch of Rakos, stuff like that. So the unhealable is actually pretty huge. I think it's a pretty fair change. I don't think this makes her OP, but she's definitely now like a very usable ML5, and I do think we are going to start seeing more of her pop up again, and I think that's good. We haven't seen her for a while, and I'm pretty excited. I do have Silverblade Araminthus. She's not 6-star, but this does prompt me to want to build her soon, so we may be seeing some new ML Araminthus videos when the buffs do come out. I believe she's not super Mola heavy either, so I'd have to look into that again. But again, pretty excited for that. I think thumbs up from me. I don't think this is going to affect the meta too much, but maybe I'm wrong. Let's go ahead and look at Kisei. So this Kisei buff is actually kind of scary, in my opinion. So they gave defense penetration to, or they didn't give, but they spread out the defense penetration on her skill 2. So now you will always get the flat 30% defense pen, but now you'll get the 30 additional 1 stealth. So technically it could be considered a nerf if you're not stealth. But in a bigger sense, you get the 30% defense. You'll always get 30%, so it guarantees the defense penetration, which is nice. More importantly, though, the skill 3 is going to increase combat readiness by 50%. Like I said on Silverblade Araminthus, CR manipulation is huge. You look at a unit like Vivian, right? So Vivian got an exclusive equipment that allowed her to boost her CR, and it skyrocketed her use. Now you not only have her being able to skill 3 right away, but if she's left untouched on a faster Kisei, she's going to skill 3, be stealth, and then be able to follow that up with an immediate AoE skill 2 for that 60% defense pen. It's pretty good. I like this change. I think she's definitely something to look out for in RTA. And this change right here, this is the change that I myself am worried the most about. Fire Ravi has been given a stun on her skill 1. So 35% chance to stun, as well as effectiveness added to her passive. So giving her that extra effectiveness to land these stuns. Man, counterset Fire Ravi is looking pretty good. I gotta say, a 35% chance is nothing to scoff at for something like a stun. You already know you're gonna get countered in RTA and in Arena. It's gonna stun you at the most inopportune times, and at that point, it's GG. Kind of surprised that they didn't also give this to APOC Ravi, but I think if they gave it to APOC Ravi, people would have a fit. And they really don't want to give out an ML selector. So I think for those APOC Ravi fans, I'm one of them as well. Mine's still sitting at plus 15. Sucks to see, but maybe we'll start seeing some more Fire Ravi. I definitely think we will, because this unit has already been kind of gaining popularity as one of those not selfish bruisers, but like pretty like durable bruisers, also dealing just a lot of damage. And now with the 35% chance to stun, another thumbs up. I think they did a really good job with this one. Maybe too good of a job, it remains to be seen, but hopefully. Fire Ken, guys. Fire Ken. It's been so long. Community has been wanting a Fire Ken buff for ages, and now we're finally getting one. So for skill 1, his 35% chance to defense break has been increased to 50%. Really good. Burn stayed the same, still HP scaling. Excuse me. I like the extra change, honestly. It felt bad. The defense break chance was pretty low. So 50% now. It's not OP. It's not going to change anything. It's no different than something like, let's say, like I hate to compare like Luluka, but like for a 2-turn defense break, 50% is very fair. 35% was very underwhelming. So I do like that. Now onto his skill 2. So his skill 2 now doesn't have a percent chance, so it works kind of like Shadow Rose now. So you still have the 15% innate chance to miss this defense break, but there's no longer the 50% on top of the 75% chance, so it's always just going to be that 100% chance, barring you have enough effectiveness. Now you still can ignore FRES with Vigor, so that part stayed the same. Overall, I really like this change. I think it's good. I don't think this makes him overpowered. I felt really bad missing that defense break on a skill 2. So, good change. I think it's, again, a step in the right direction there for Ken. And then the change to a skill 3, which is my favorite part, actually. So, they decreased the amount of turns of Vigor, so you get 3 turns, but they also reduced the cooldown and reduced the Fighting Spirit cost on his skill 3. Really, 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 really important. You're essentially getting more Vigor uptime based on like how often you're getting the Fighting Spirit and how often the cooldowns are up. So it's going to be up sooner and it's going to cost less Fighting Spirit. Now Vigor's only up for 3 turns, so there's probably a 1 or 2 turn chance when you won't have the skill 3, but overall, really good change. I like it. This definitely makes Ken more viable. I don't know how viable he's going to be, but with units like ML Crower, right? I think Ken being a only single target, like bruiser DPS unit, this is really nice. So overall, again, I really like this change. Onto the 4 stars. So the Moonlight 4 stars, Shadow Rose. They changed her skill soul burn cooldown, or her skill cooldown is reduced by 2 turns for the soul burn. Really nice. It actually makes it worth soul burning. And then they gave her effectiveness buff on skill 3. I don't think this is super relevant personally, outside of the soul burn. They also just increased the damage anyway, since that was the soul burn. So you get the increased damage and then reduce cooldown. Maybe we start seeing Shadow Rose in Arena again. I know some people are using Shadow Rose in RTA. Overall, I think it's still a pretty nice change, though. So, she is a knight, which is something to mention. So, maybe we do start seeing more Shadow Rose in RTA as one of those knight holders, spamming for more CR and CR reduction, I guess, for the enemies. So, overall, I think not a bad change. I don't think it's unhealthy by any means, but I do think it makes her more usable. It makes the soul burn definitely feel better. So you always want your units to feel good when you use them, right? You want them to you don't want them to feel underwhelming, and I think the old soul burn was pretty underwhelming. So overall, can't complain about that. This change doesn't worry me, but I think it's one of the most impactful. So ignore effect resistance on her strip. Well, not really strip, but like buff reduction on her skill 2. And the fact that it'll give unhealable. So unresistible, unhealable, and unresistible buff reduction. Really good. You know how strong ignore FRS is with units like Falconer Clury, Lilius, Bassar. There's probably more. I'm just forgetting them, but those are the notable ones that everyone knows based off of RTA and Arena. I like this change actually. I really do. I think Kitty Clarissa was already an okay unit to have built, and now even more so. So I can't really complain about that. It's another debuff that you can guarantee landing, but more importantly, a Soulburn like strip, like a Ignore effect resist strip is really nice. So good change. Hopefully she's not too oppressive, but I think this is pretty balanced overall. General Purges. So the General Purges change is they gave him HP scaling on all of his skills. I don't think this is too impactful. I still think I'm only going to use mine in Wyvern. But depending on the multis and depending on how it is, we might see some Bruiser General Purchases. He's been a skill 2 passive bot for, I would say, 99% of the players out there. Some people have him built to like counter Faithless Litica and stuff like that, but I do think General Purges might see some use as like a dedicated Bruiser now, since he is a warrior. Again, depending on the multipliers, this could be pretty big. Everyone stacks HP in General Purges anyways because of Wyvern, so who knows. This one is nice, but I don't think this is too impactful in the game. So again, not gonna really change much, but a welcomed buff. And this one's really cool, Celeste, and I like this one because my Celeste is 6-starred, fully awakened, because of the old Celeste CDOM meta back in Season 2 Arena when you would do Celeste CDOM, Oxlots, and Sez, the Sezbomb special. Anyways, they changed her skill 3 to an 85% chance to decrease combat readiness from 50%. So even higher chance to push back, and then they increased the damage slightly. This is really, really good. I like this because she has the second highest base speed in game at 128. So you could build her extremely fast now as almost a counter to units like Flitica, to units like Cerise. If they're not on immunity, you're going to most likely push them back. And I think that's huge. Will this see more use? Maybe. If you want to draft Celeste Dom, I think it's a completely viable option. It gives you another way to push the CDOM, especially since you can spam this skill 3. We might see some Celestes in RTA. We could see Celeste CDOM Flitica being drafted. Who knows? I think this opens up a lot of possibilities. It also allows you to potentially use artifacts like Miss Confile instead of Sasha Thanes on your Flitica. I think it opens up quite a bit, and I do like this change. I don't think it's going to be too strong, but as a Celeste fan, I welcome this buff, and I'm going to definitely be testing it out. I want to see what people can do with this, and if maybe she's going to be the real deal again. Probably not, but you can always hope. And then the final change is the Charles exclusive equipment. So it's going to dispel buffs before instead of after. Only really relevant if you have them buffable. I think this is a nice change. It gives Charles a secondary EE to look into, but I still think a lot of people are going to go with the higher chance to proc smash. Excuse me again, I'm sorry. Again, though, overall, welcomed. I don't think this makes Charles any more strong, like any more OP than he already is. I think it just gives him more of an option, honestly, just to be used. I don't think this changes much for Charles, but again, it's just nice to have. It's a nice option to have. So, with that being said, though, that was pretty much the balance and patch changes. Let me know what you guys think. Any units you're excited for? Any changes that you're excited for? I think there's a lot to be digested here. I think we're going to see a lot more builds. I think Fire Ravi is going to be more important. I think units like Silverblade Araminthus are going to be like higher in priority now for these control players. Overall, super great changes. I appreciate you guys watching this video. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Go ahead, follow me on Twitch as well, twitch.tv/washableplatypi. I would super appreciate that. We stream every day, 5:30 p.m. Central Time. Is usually when I try to start. Yeah, honestly, no complaints other than the fact that there is, again, no nerfs. But I think to this point, or to like Smilegate, like we're not gonna be seeing these nerfs. They don't really want to give out more of these selector tickets. They're very hesitant, I think, to nerf units and more opt to kind of create new units that shift the meta or buff units to shift the meta. So unfortunately, we won't be seeing any nerfs as well, but I think these buffs are nice and a lot of them are pretty relevant. I think I'm going to be building a Fire Ravi, so stay tuned for that. But anyways, guys, thank you so much for watching, and we will see you on the next video.